The Sacramento Kings have absolutely been on fire at the time that I'm making this video. That beam in Sacramento, it's shining bright and I'm loving every second of it. I don't want to say anything like them being good has been long overdue or anything like that, but the fans reacted like this after winning 2 Summer League games for a reason.
We getting 40 wins this year.
On a serious note, the vibes out in Sac have been immaculate, and how could they not be? The fan base is incredibly loyal. Guys, the last time this team made the playoffs was the 05-06 season. In 05-06, the first iPhone hadn't even been released yet. The Kings' last playoff appearance featured Rick Adelman as their head coach, and their roster was filled with OGs. I mean, just take a look at it. Looking at this roster feels like stepping into a time machine. Bonzi Wells, Ron Artest, Mike Bibby, Kevin Martin, Brad Miller, Abdurrahim, my guy Peja Stojakovic. Fun fact, I actually own a Peja Stojakovic jersey, and it's a Kings jersey. It's not even the New Orleans Hornets version. Guys, some of these names just take you way back. Honestly, it's pretty wild to me how time flies. 06 was literally 16 years ago, and so much has happened in that time span except the Sacramento Kings making the playoffs. I will say this though, the Boogie era in Sac did have its moments, and it'll always have a special place in my heart. Looking back on things, it's hard to believe how fast Malone got the hook, and how things have transpired since then as a whole. In the 2017 NBA draft, Sacramento would hit a grand slam, drafting De'Aaron Fox with the 5th pick. In the 2020 draft, they'd hit yet another one, drafting Tyrese Haliburton at 12. When Haliburton was drafted, I was a bit surprised, not because he wasn't good or anything like that, but because the Kings decided to use a lotto pick on a guy who played the same position as their franchise player. Here's the curveball. With that being said, I absolutely love the BPA approach, and I'm sure Cleveland feels the same way. If you know, you know. Anyways, Haliburton hit the ground running in Sacramento. As a rookie, he'd averaged 13 points, 5.3 assists, and 3 rebounds on 47.2% from the field and 40.9% from 3. His second season would be even better, pushing his averages to 14.3 points and 7.4 assists in Sac. As good as Haliburton looked in Sacramento, it was clear that there was still another level for him to go to as the guy. When Haliburton knew he had to step his game up without Fox, he would push 20 points per game, 10 assists, and 4 rebounds. This was a guy that was only in their second season. The Pacers would take note of Haliburton's potential and shock the world by trading for him, Buddy Hield, and Tristan Thompson, while shipping a 2023 second, Justin Holiday, Jeremy Lamb, and Domantas Sabonis to Sacramento. As one of the bigger Sabonis fans, this move dropped my jaw, and it would do the same for Tyrese, who wanted to help Fox turn this franchise around. At one point, Reese was so mad that he said he resented everybody in the organization. Despite the initial heartbreak of being traded, Haliburton would end up loving his new home in Indy. When it comes to this trade, it's really hard to be too mad about how it has turned out for either side so far. I would say that this trade is a situation where both sides got what they wanted. Indy got its franchise point guard, who's averaging 20 and 10 while appearing to be one of the best shooters in the league. And Sacramento, they would get their franchise big, who along with Fox has helped to change the way that this team is playing basketball. Shortly after the trade went down, De'Aaron Fox would start going off. In the month of March, he would average 30.9 points and 7.4 assists on 50% from the field and 40% from 3. And as for Sabonis, well, he would start to lay the groundwork, serving as one of the central hubs for the Kings offense. According to NBA University, Herter and Fox are 1 and 2 for most dribble handoff possessions used per game. Number 3 would be none other than Steph Curry. A big who has an IQ, can pass, board, and score is a dream for a guard like Fox who can get going at the blink of an eye. Having a guy like this can change your entire offense. The Kings would follow up their blockbuster trade by absolutely crushing the offseason. This offseason, they would trade for Kevin Herter, who's been a revelation on offense, shooting 49.7% from the field and 51% from 3 while averaging 16 points. I know the numbers don't reflect it, but he's a solid all-around player for Sacramento. Huerter is more than a shooter. They would also sign Malik Monk, Fox's former college teammate at Kentucky, somebody who was a bona fide scorer and playing some of the best basketball of their career. Did I mention that this team would also draft Keegan Murray with the 4th overall pick this past year? Keegan was one of my favorite prospects in this year's draft. To me, he was undoubtedly one of the most NBA ready. Keegan has a very smooth and natural feel to his game. He's a 6'8" shooter who's agile, knows how to finish around the basket, and has all of the tools to disrupt the game on both sides of the floor. NBADraft.net compared him to Michael Porter Jr. While I understand the comparison, personally, I always thought he was more Chris Middleton than MPJ. Perhaps my favorite move coming out of Sacramento this offseason was the hiring of Mike Brown. I won't sit here and lie to you guys, pretending that I've been the biggest Mike Brown fan throughout the course of his career. But with that said, something about him landing in Sac felt right. Last season, despite having some capable players, the Kings were 27th in defensive rating and 24th in offensive rating. And while the defensive rating hasn't improved much yet, it's still early, and there are stretches where they look really good. Mike Brown, the head coach that they hired this offseason, is known for his defensive prowess and has used his time in Golden State to improve the Warriors, of course, but also his weaknesses. In Sacramento, Brown has been demanding his team fight every single night on the defensive side of the basketball. I cannot emphasize how huge this is for a team that is young and full of talent. Early on, he has Fox playing some of the best defense of his career.
I think a lot of it comes from Mike. Like, I can have almost a picture-perfect defensive possession, and then he will time out. He'll be like, you could have done this. You could have done this better. You kept him in front of you the whole time. Maybe you jumped a split second too early. You know, they always teach a second guy off the ground. So it's like little things like that that just continues to make me a better player and a better defender.
Fox has always been a capable defender, but this season he has accepted the challenge. Just look at some of these possessions.
Right now, as De'Aaron Fox plays good defense on Damian Lillard, accepting the challenge, and send out belated congratulations to De'Aaron Fox and his left.
I give the game ball right now to Malik Monk.
What a creator. Mitchell steps through, left it on the rim.
Orlando, since he has gone 18 of 20.
Guys, at the time that I'm making this video, the Kings have the number 2 ranked offense in the league, and that's in large part due to the guy that controls the game for Sacramento. I've been watching Fox since high school. To see his game evolve is a thing of beauty. I know at this moment in time, Fox doesn't always get the massive assist numbers that some other players get, averaging 6.4, but if you watch the way he plays, you'd see that he doesn't need to. He's not sitting at the top of the key pounding the air out of the ball. In Sacramento, he has been a true decisive point guard, who, as I said earlier, controls the flow of the entire game. He's also a blur in transition and even the half court. Also, he knows exactly when to get his teammates involved or deliver a dagger that puts a lid on the game. I really do feel like his speed to an extent overshadows his true skill level. He's one of the craftiest point guards in the league that has the ability to get whatever shot that he wants. This guy is averaging 24.8 points on 55.4% from the field and 37.5% from 3 for a reason. In his words, the team takes smart shots. One of my favorite things with Fox right now is watching him navigate screens. His in-between game is a thing of beauty, as he's really one of the best screen and roll guards in the league. And if he continues shooting the ball this well, I'm not really sure how you defend him. From 3 to 10 feet, he's shooting 57%. From 10 to 16, he's shooting 60%. This guy has been knocking down 49% of all of his jump shots. That good shot selection in Sacramento has been paying off. If you want to watch a team that's playing for each other right now, I definitely recommend watching some Sacramento basketball as the ball has been zipping around. Again, huge shout out to Sabonis there, and also shout out to Mitchell, who has been wreaking havoc defensively, Metu, Terrence Davis, and Barnes for being that solid vet presence. Even if the Kings drop a game or games sometime soon, that doesn't really change how I feel about them. This is a team that deserved a shout out for their hot play, so I had to give it to them. Guys, let me know what team or player you would like a video on next. Clicking the video on the screen right now is a great way to support my channel. I'm GetLikeCoop, bringing you guys the scoop until our next upload.